Mission Pro Wrestling, the symbol of excellence in women's sports entertainment.
What's going on, Mission Pro Familia, La Raza? What's going on? This is Mission Pro Spotlight. I am Mid-Runner, Mind Runner. I am also proud and powerful today. One of my favorite tag teams that never got a chance to shine as much as I wanted them to in AEW. In my opinion, they should have been AEW Tag Team champions. Whatever. Mike Santana's killing it in TNA, so that's good. And I hope Ortiz is out there, and I'd love to see him show up and do some damage. But I am here with my tag team partner, my proud and powerful, and she's been crushing it not only out there in the wrestling world and wrestling community, but she's crushing it with all those crazy pre-calc exams. Ladies and germs, I'm talking about the dangerous lady with a kendo stick. I'm talking about Angel Marie. What's going on?
Oh, why'd you have to mention pre-cal, bro? I'm sorry, Theo Mike, but if you're in the chat, I'm sorry, but like, I'm not a pre-cal, bro. I can't do pre-cal. I don't know. I'm so done with pre-cal right now. Well, I'm so glad I don't have to do it next year.
If one wrestler runs from the ropes and does a 360 Spanish fly on a wrestler that weighs 320 pounds, what's the airspeed velocity? What is X equals Y if Z is the amount of force on their bootstrap?
Okay, let me write something down real quick. No, I got this. I got this. I hate pre-cal, but I can do this. I got this. You ready?
Yep.
The answer is Armani Sage sucks.
That is correct. Ding, 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 ding. You get an A+, AP.
Hell yeah.
You get extra credit. Absolutely. The correct answer is Armani Sage sucks, except when he's wrestling somebody else that we shall not mention. But that's the only time.
One exception,
but that we won't talk about that. No. What people are talking before we get to the wrestling news, and this is breaking news. We need to actually get a breaking news graphic because there's stuff that happens like right before we go on the air. This has actually been going on for the last several hours, but it's kind of leaking out. And this is one of those lessons where when you don't take care of your people, if you're a promotion and you don't take care of your people, it gets around. Flip side is if you do take care of your people, it gets around as well. That's one of the reasons why Mission Pro Wrestling stands out as one of those, it was created to be a safe space for women. It's created to be a positive, uplifting wrestling environment for female wrestlers. Because as Thunder Rosa, among many other legends out there know, there's women in wrestling there's a lot of scummy people out there, scummy promoters, and a lot of people out there taking advantage. Well, if you haven't known already, check out on Twitter. We're not going to get into the details because it's not our business, but just letting you all know something's going down with All Caribbean Wrestling. And we highly recommend everybody go to Maya World, Jocelyn Navarro, Maserati, even Carolina Teague, the GM for Mission Pro, had some more words. But and Zicky Dice also had some words. So make sure you check out their Twitter handles, Instagrams. They're speaking out about some very, very shady shenanigans going on with All Caribbean Wrestling. So make sure you check that out. But to me, the lesson for us, I think here, more importantly to highlight, is how important a promotion like Mission Pro is, not just to the wrestlers, but to the fans as well. Having that positive place where you know your talent is going to be taken care of, and it's just, you know, there's no icky vibes. People want Mission Pro to come back. You know, in fact, Pepe Pete was in Poteet was in Brittany Brooks's live chat last night, and she was asking about Mission Pro, when's it coming back. So we'll keep you posted here. Mission Pro Spotlight will keep you posted. But Angel Marie, wouldn't you agree that when you hear these nightmare situations from these other organizations, that it makes you appreciate Mission Pro even more, not just from a fan perspective, but like as a future star, of course. Future star. What are your thoughts? How has Mission Pro felt positive to you, and how has it stood out to you as a fan?
Oh, so Mission Pro definitely has seriously stood out to me like a lot, and I know like people will be like, and it is really sad like seeing stuff like now with ACW, seeing that like there's a bunch of shady stuff going on. That is really sad. But what stands out like with Mission Pro is just how much of a safe space it is, and how, you know, just genuine, like you can tell that the people that work there are just genuine people. Like at every show, like I'd be seeing like wrestlers and stuff, and like with a lot of wrestlers, like they're always saying publicly like they want to go back to Mission Pro, like they want Mission Pro to come back eventually. And I think that really shows like the legitimacy of Mission Pro as well. Because I mean, if there was stuff going on, why would people be expressing so much positivity towards Mission Pro like constantly? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, is that's the other end of the token, is if you take good care of your people, you see it, that the same thing happens. You know, you get that same treatment. People crave those positive environments. So Mission Pro, it's going to be coming back. Thunder Rosa created a great platform for female wrestlers. It'll be back. When? Can't tell you that right now. Things continue to be in the works, but it's going to be awesome when it does. By the way, we got to do a special shout out to Addie Carver. Just finished her graduation. Woo! Congratulations. Bum, 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 bum. What you gotta do, Eddie, is now you've graduated, and now the world is now you're gonna be the cream that rises to the top. You're gonna be like a protein shake. You're gonna shake it up, and you're gonna shake it up real good, and the content inside is gonna be all powerful. And yeah, that's what you're gonna be. Congratulations, Addie. And I apologize for my terrible Macho Man impersonation, but there you go. That's awesome. Angel Marie, Courtney in the chat. Courtney says that's bussin'.
Oh my word! You know what? It was Courtney saying it. It's fine.
Hey, that's Tia Courtney in there giving you the that's bussin'. That's awesome. She's taking care of my slang for me. But we do have a lot of wrestling news to get to now. Just to let you know about Black Dahlia, about Paige. She is killing it right now in the southern Florida part. I guess, is that the Panhandle? I always forget. Is the Panhandle like Orlando, Tampa, or is that not the Panhandle? That's the Gonads, or what is that? I don't know. Well,
I couldn't tell you. I just know that there's a Panhandle in Texas.
Yes. Well, they're in Paige Collette. Black Dahlia is in southern Florida. Unfortunately, she couldn't join us Tuesday night originally. There was a torrential downpour. There was all kinds of craziness. So we chose safety over podcasting, which was, totally, if you saw her Instagram, you'll definitely understand what she was dealing with. But she's crushing it down there. She's got some stuff with Lindsay Snow. She may pop on with us if she can. It'll be a quick, hey, how are you kind of thing. We're going to reschedule a more thorough chat with her to talk more about CRPS, the stuff that she's got going on. But follow Paige Collette. Black Dahlia's Instagram is the best place to follow her. She pops on live spontaneously. She's a real fun person to chat with. She's got ever since we've talked to her before, she's been not only spreading awareness for CRPS, it's a terrible, terrible disease with no cure, but she has also been kind of being a living example of how to live your life with that. And she's showing up, and she's showing up at WrestleCons and wrestling events, and she's been killing it. So we love you. She's our sister from another mister, Paige, and hopefully she'll be able to join us tonight. If not, we'll just continue to speak of her and send our love. But we will be pre-recording a chat with her for a later date. Also, some news, and we'll talk about this again at the end before we get to wrestling news. Submission Pro Spotlight news. Monday night, right after Raw, so roughly 10 Eastern, 9 Central, the official We Love Wrestling draft is going to take place. So we've got podcasts, we've got that guy Tommy, Lip Gloss and Ladders, we've got the gang from Meet Us in the Ring. There's also there are going to be some surprise entrants, and there may be some replacements as we're working out logistics. But the podcast teams will show up on Monday night after 10. We're going to be drafting 8 wrestlers and going for the summer. Now, the discussion is, do we go only to SummerSlam, which is the early part of August? Because there's a lot of people starting school and other things after August. It really, I'll be doing all the counting. All you have to do is just kind of talk smack to each other. But we may just keep it. We may stop it at the end of SummerSlam. But regardless, it's going to be a lot of fun. I know Angel Marie is itching for that belt. I have officially put the belt in the vault, so I don't accidentally spill protein drinks on it. So it is official, and it's going to be awesome. And I'm excited to see who's going to be. I have a feeling Nicole herself is going to be the one that's going to get it. But just to make everybody feel up, big senior Angel Marie. Look at that.
Why am I a senior?
I don't know. Senorita.
I'm not senorita.
I don't know what that's all about. But anyways, yeah, make sure you wear orange for her. Yes, wear orange for the Black Dahlia. Even though Black Dahlia, wear orange for CRPS awareness when it comes around. But Angel Marie, we've got some huge news here coming up here. We've got a lot of cool stuff going on in the wrestling world. So without further ado, let's get to the wrestling news. All right. So now, hey, look at this. Surprise, Angel Marie. You thought this was going to be wrestling news, but this is actually wrestling pre-calc.
Hey,
so here we
I
go.
already gave you one answer to a problem. Do you want to give me another problem?
Yeah, this is the next you think there's only one problem on a test?
Oh my gosh, I wish.
So if Becky Lynch spoke for 20 minutes, and she started talking at 9:25, what time did she stop talking? What X equals the time she stopped talking?
Okay, do you want me to only give you the answer, or do you want me to also elaborate?
Whatever. I mean, extra credit for showing your work.
Extra credit? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say 9:45, and my reasoning behind that is because Armani Sage sucks.
That is correct. Yes, 1,000 points. Very good. Very good.
See, I can sometimes do math.
But we do need to talk about, and yeah, we definitely want to talk about the main event on Raw, where and this pairing of Julia and Roxy versus Io Sky, Rhea Ripley. Of course, Rhea wants her belt. But before we get to that, you and I have had some similar feelings about Becky Lynch winning the title with Lyra and then turning on Lyra so quickly and really pushing this heel narrative. Becky went on this rant that, and I encourage you guys to go check it out if you can. But I love shocking heel turns. I love when it feels right, but sometimes heel turns seem forced, and I almost feel like this Becky Lynch turn is a bit forced. Now, I'm not taking away from her talent because, and again, Becky Lynch is another one of those wrestlers that could sell whatever they give her. You know, she's going to find a way. But to me, I feel like she's like running uphill on a glass hill with socks on, because we cheered for her return, and then suddenly she's doing this whole thing. Now, the only thing I could think of is if she ends up like kind of joining her husband with the Paul Heyman family kind of thing, and like becomes the first female Paul Heyman girl or something like that, or late woman. But I'm not feeling Becky Lynch, and I don't like, I think it was probably designed to enhance Lyra, but I think there's other ways to do that, and I think Becky, plus the fact that we're not hearing anything from Bayley, and Bayley was so involved with Lyra up until that moment, and now where's Bayley? You know what I mean? I know you were busy doing pre-calc to listen to Becky's rant, but your thoughts on Becky's turn and the absence of Bayley, and how the booking of Lyra as champion, and these are all, and I think these are all wrestlers we love, but just your thoughts on that whole thing before we get into the main event.
Yeah, no. It's like literally I was gonna say Mike's favorite is gone. Where's Bayley? Like, what's going on with Bayley? Like, where'd she go? I mean, I know she got attacked, but like, I think she'll be okay, right? You would think. But apparently not. But yeah, so I do need to go back and watch the Becky promo, because I have been getting a lot of people also saying that they don't like how she's going in this like heel direction again. And yeah, I really do have to go watch that back, because I'm gonna be honest here with you guys. Half of this is gonna be me reacting to stuff. Let's just make that clear right here. Exactly. I'm just here for the ride, and Theo Frio explains.
Absolutely. But you know what? That's cool. And, sometimes that's how it is. Just like there's going to be plenty of times Reigns and Marie's going to be breaking stuff down. Explain to me the difference between Riz and Skibbity Riz. Explaining what jawline, why jawline is important, and all. See, Microplastics knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes you've got to put like, if your jawline is at an angle of 45 degrees, you could actually do you could do an equation. All right, whatever.
What are we talking about? Also, Mike, could we like not call me out?
Oh.
Okay, wait. What day are you talking about?
I think
I did do my homework on some days.
I think he's referring to your wrestling homework.
Oh.
That's okay. As her tutor, I gave her a homework pass this week. So
oh yeah, I was definitely talking about the show, not my actual work.
And in Angel's defense, we have a huge announcement. Well, not only say announcement, but we've got some cool stuff that we're going to talk about at the end of this segment, and that's really cool. And Angel's going to be a vital part of getting in the news, local news, and we're going to be talking about that here shortly. But yeah, where's Bayley? Why is she written off the show? And let me ask you, Big Mike, Courtney, what do you think? Do you think, is this the beginning of a Davina Rose showing up in AEW at some point? Davina Rose being Bayley's pre-WWE wrestling name. Do you think there's a chance that she might go join Mercedes? And would that be compelling? And should we involve Izzy in that whole thing? Because come on, it's right there. Let's have it happen.
Damn.
I think that'd be pretty cool. Now, let's talk about this. I love Io Sky as champion. I love, yeah, exactly. And I'm so glad they've kept the belt on her. Again, going back to the whole Bailey thing and the whole and Dakota Kai thing, it's like they just decided, woke up one day and said, "Hey, damage control is a figment of imagination. It's just gone. We're gonna forget about it." And I guess that happens in wrestling. I am compelled, this, Rhea Ripley's obsession with the belt, with Io, and this kind of tandem of Julia and Roxy is working. I do think, there's some, I don't think it's completely a team. Definitely seemed like Roxy and Julia aren't 100% on board with each other, but your thoughts on Io's run so far, and do you think this is gonna after this with Rhea? Do you think we keep it on Io and open it up to some new challengers after Rhea Ripley gets her shot?
Please. No, honestly, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are saying, like, with the whole thing with, like, seeing how Rhea is looking at the Women's World Championship and stuff. But she looks at it and then she kind of just looks back. She doesn't attack Io. She doesn't do anything else. It looks like she came to terms with the fact that she's no longer Women's World Champion and that she might be okay with that for right now. And also, yeah, let's just get someone else new other than, like, Rhea, and then, because, like, I feel like Rhea's been going after this title for, like, so long, which, I mean, I understand, she's, like, one of the top stars, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, let's, cycle through some other people, please.
Could you see an Io Sky versus Becky Lynch feud? Now, if Becky is going to go heel, because there was another wrestler that we're going to talk about that returned, but she's babyface, and it's really hard to do two baby faces going at each other. But I think Io is going to be fantastic. Jenna is never late. You arrive exactly when you intend to. Absolutely. Exactly. But I do think that I think that's I'd like to see some new faces against Io. And we've talked about dance partners on here before, where you have a good dance partner that can keep up with you. I wouldn't be mad at Stephanie Vaquer dropping her title to Jordan Grace and going to the main roster and challenging Io for the title. So we'll see. But let's move on. Speaking of, what an incredible! This wasn't quite banger of the week, but this was it. This was a good match, and I do think that Fallon Henley specifically, but they played their role well. But this was much more of a showcase of, really, it's a showcase of how awesome the Juggernaut is. I was surprised that Stephanie Vaquer didn't get as much offense in as Jordan in this match. It was clearly they're setting up Jordan versus Stephanie very soon, and she is number one contender. I think this is going to be an insane match, and I think this is an opportunity to drop the belt to Jordan, send Stephanie to the main roster, and just put Stephanie in every feud that you can possibly imagine. I mean, just the sky's the limit with her. I think Jordan would be a great kind of leader for the NXT locker room. I think I'd let Jordan be in NXT for at least a year or so as the lead, because that leadership in NXT I think is vital. And she could really help a lot of the young ladies, as well as really help the brand elevate. And I think that would be good. But again, if they keep Stephanie, if they keep the belt on Stephanie, and they keep these two ladies just kicking ass, I'm cool with that too. I love, these are two of my favorites in NXT right here, and I'm excited. Your thoughts on Vaquer, Jordan Grace, and Fallon Henley's crew there?
Yeah, like, I totally 100%. I get what you said, and on paper that does sound really good for like Stephanie to drop the belt to Jordan and then go up to the main roster and just be, you know, a huge star on there. But my only issue is that Stephanie has only been in NXT for so long, and I'm not saying that like, Stephanie's not talented enough. Oh, of course she's talented. Like she came from, where'd she come from again? What was it? Yeah.
No, she came
I mean,
from
I was gonna say,
CML. Yeah, I think CMLL or AAA. Yeah, AAA.
yeah, one of those promotions, and so
Japan.
she had a lot of experience beforehand, even going into WWE. So I mean, they debuted her at a house show, like, is crazy. But I don't know. For some reason, I feel like Stephanie. I feel like they're not gonna put Stephanie on the main roster just yet for some reason, just because they already have Roxanne and Julia already up there. And can we also talk about how Roxanne has had so many losses in this year alone on the main roster?
Yeah, I do think I'm really scratching my head about how they're treating Roxanne, especially because they've teased a couple feuds that just dissolved.
Yeah.
Like Roxy, I want Roxy versus Alexa Bliss. I mean, I want that. I think that would be an incredible feud. I think Roxy would be a great candidate to feud with Zelina, and pivot Chelsea Green in a different direction. Let her continue to be. I mean, Chelsea Green is kind of the Toni Storm of WWE right now, as far as she's in the earlier stages. But that character is so over, even though she's a villain. I think that you pivot her away from the U.S. title, and I think you put Roxy in the mix with you put Roxy in the mix with the U.S. title with Zelina Vega, and you have Alexa Bliss feud with Roxy as well, or feud with Julia. And I think that would be definitely some money. But yeah, I think it's time to keep Roxy and Julia on the main roster at least. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Okay. I'm gonna give this time to you. All I gotta say is this. My heart was already broken when they released 2 out of 3, but they didn't release everybody from Chemical X. For me, either keep everybody from Chemical X together on NXT and WWE, or let them all go, because I feel like this is just cruel to release Gigi now back as Priscilla Kelly and Shotzi, but you're keeping poor Tatum alone again. I think as the talent is milking it as for what it is, it's fantastic. But and Shotzi is still trying to keep the Chemical X name going. But let's talk about poor Tatum. Angel Marie, the floor is yours.
So I just want to say, guys, I really want to give Tatum Paxley a hug. This is so. Look at this freaking picture, bro. Look at that picture right there, and tell me this is not the saddest thing ever. I feel so bad for her, like, genuinely. Like, I mean,
yeah,
partially just as a character, but also like in general too, because technically her friends are gone. Like, that's so saddening to me. But I do want to say that this like shift that she's having right now, where she's just kind of going like nuts. Well, I mean, okay, when was she not nuts? But like really nuts, because now she lost her 2 friends, her only other 2 friends other than Lyra. Now she's alone again. Like, it's so sad, but I am happy to see her still having like a really good character despite all these hardships that are literally happening in real time. But it's just like, man, I feel so bad for Tatum.
I do too. Now, I will say this, that the segment that happened before, like she's making the most out of this, and she's using real emotion to fuel this character. I think it's real too. I think the emotion it's, and okay, Courtney says I've seen sadder, but here's the thing: it's not just a sad, it's a rage as well as sadness. It's really breaking her as a character, and I do love that part of it. I'm not to say anything negative about anybody in the NXT roster, but like I 3 times I've had to ask you to remind me who her opponent was. Like Thea Hale. Thea Hale. Okay, I got it right this time. and it's sad because Thea Hale doesn't stand out to me. Carmen Petrovic at least stands out because there was a storyline. Sometimes she's a samurai. I don't know, but like I think that there's at least something there. But Thea Hale, I'm like, wait, what was her name again? But her reaction, she was just such a great vanilla person for Tatum to react to. I mean, she broke her dollhouse. She did all this thing. The match itself, too, I'd never seen Tatum do this before. Maybe she's done that spin kick before, where she did a spin kick off the ropes, and like that was incredible. It actually resulted in a DQ when Tatum tried to gouge Thea Hale's eyes out. I thought that, and she's just completely losing her mind. And she's unhinged. I hope they roll with this character. I'm intrigued. I think she's one of the best things on NXT, and that says a lot when with such a strong women's roster, such a strong women's division, for you to be one of the best things on NXT. I hope she rolls in NXT for a while, or I hope they release her so she can go be with Shotzi and Priscilla Kelly and do Chemical X. At least let her do a couple indie shows with them, because that was magic. I do not understand that. I still do not understand the thoughts. Of course, this is the same TKO. Of course, they're the same group of people saying that they're happy with charging $10,000 for ringside seats and stuff like that. But
insane.
I am heartbroken. And I just know I feel good that she's making the most out of these emotions. But let's move on. Smacketh Down had some interesting little tidbits here. And again, talk about character development. First of all, I want to talk about, this is the match that as soon as I heard Jade Cargill was, actually before that, when Jade was the TBS champion in AEW, and there was talk of Ashley Flair, Charlotte Flair, Ashley Flair going to AEW while Andrade was still there. This was the match I wanted to see. I wanted to see Jade versus Charlotte Flair. Now that both are in WWE together, they're strongly hinting this. Charlotte comes out, does her little blah, 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 I'm a villain. And then we had this Storm is Coming just before Jade versus Nia Jax. Phenomenal. Great teasing. I want to see this at SummerSlam, and I think it would be tremendous. Then Jade, again, physically she's a specimen. She's super strong. Jade is not going to ever be an Io Sky. She's not going to, and she shouldn't have to try to beat. Jade is going to stay Jade. And that's all we need, because the stuff she was able to do. And again, this is a woman that even when she was at AEW, she was showing up to wrestling practice all the time. Dustin, Thunder, they'd see her. She puts in the work. And you've heard what I've said about Nia Jax. I think we both agree that this is the best that Nia Jax has ever looked in WWE.
Sure.
This is her best. She's having her best year, I think, her best season, year, whatever. She's the best she's ever been here. She's credible. She fits the roster. She's not a joke wrestler. She's really doing awesome. And this match with, the matchup with her and Jade, and the fact that Jade was able to pick her up over her head and slam her from the top rope. I mean, that's Jade. She is strength. And then, of course, straight from the mind of Jordan Peele, Naomi climbed out of the darkness and caused havoc. And of course, we got Tiffany Stratton knocked down too. So we got all these variables. You got Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, Spooky Naomi, Jade Cargill. I guess Bianca's still injured. I don't know what's going on with that. But then, of course, we've got Charlotte Flair. What would you like to see come out of all of this? Do you think maybe Naomi versus Tiffany? Do you want to see Jade versus Charlotte? And where does Nia Jax fit in with this whole thing?
Ooh. Okay, so for sure, Jade and Charlotte. I mean, I feel like that's kind of a given, maybe. I don't know. And then oh man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how, like, Nia would play into all of this, because unless it would be like a triple threat, like Tiffany, Naomi, and Nia. But then I feel like it'll be too much because Nia had already been going after Tiffany and stuff, and they already had a whole huge thing, a huge program going on. So I don't really know. Ooh, that's a good question.
We just got to stay tuned, plug ourselves in, and enjoy the ride. All right, so this is why you don't, when you're busy studying, sometimes you miss SmackDown and you miss really awesome moments. Yeah. So Zelina Vega was going to taking on Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, and she needed a mystery tag team partner. And Zelina walks out, and then you hear Alexa Bliss's music. Alexa comes out and is the tag team partner. The place goes insane. I believe this was in Ohio where she's from, so I think this was kind of like a hometown thing. And it was tremendous. Of course, Chelsea, Piper, and Alba are doing great. They're playing great villains. I mean, Chelsea's the best. She's fantastic. There were some moments where she just really sold the hell out of things. Match ended, of course, Alexa Bliss with the Sister Abigail. And I really like this moment because unlike, the earlier picture where we saw Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, Alexa Bliss is like, she's pointing to Zelina Vega, like she's supporting her. So hopefully they don't pull another Becky Lynch, Lyra thing here. I would like to see this alliance continue, but I also think it's time Alexa Bliss get into some singles action. And yeah, we've already talked about Alexa, but let me ask you, Angel, where would you like to see, obviously what would you like to see Zelina Vega? Who would you like to see her defend against? But also what feud do you want to see Alexa Bliss get into? And who do you think would be some dream opponents right now, as of right now, with the women's landscape at this point?
Oh, wow. I don't even know, because I don't even know. Oh my gosh, Mike. They're actually at a combined height of, what is it? 10 feet. I think I want to say either like 4 inches.
Yeah.
Or 3 inches off the top of my head. Thinking 5'1", 5'3", but I could be wrong.
Don't mess with the shorty squadron there, Microplastics.
Exactly. You already know how that goes.
I keep my mouth shut on that. I don't mess with the shorty.
Oh my gosh, it's simple adding. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Hey, that was a test. That was a test to see if you got it. Well,
Did I test?
Do you want to see Alexa Bliss versus Roxy? Do you think that would be, because they teased that a while back?
They did. I think that would be really cool. But honestly, I can't really give an answer who I want to see her face, because I don't even really know what exactly her character is right now. I mean, it's partially because I didn't watch the match yet, but it's also partially because, like, I don't know. I feel like just in general, like, before, like, how they've returned Alexa like a few times before this year, I don't really know, like, what exactly her character is gonna be. I mean, obviously she's like dark. I mean, she's pretty gothic.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, is she still aligning with the Wyatt Six? Is she gonna be a part of all that? Is she gonna be another bruja? You know, like it's just I feel like they need a little bit more like character defining, or
I'm not
maybe
entirely
some
sure they know.
promos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. They're probably trying to figure that out. It almost feels like, though, when this match, it almost feels like she's a amalgam of all of the Alexa Bliss characters into one person. You know? Birdsy! What's going on, fam? Good to see you. I almost feel like she's like Alexa Bliss has become kind of like she's the dark Alexa, but also she's the Alexa that drinks coffee character too. Like she's kind of that amalgam. I think she belongs with Wyatt Six, and I'd love to see her and Nikki Cross get back together. But I do think that it's going to be interesting to watch. And you're absolutely right. I think they're trying to figure out where her place is, but don't pull a Becky Lynch and have her suddenly go heel on Zelina. I think keep her baby face, and then I think pivot. Maybe even have Alexa feud with Chelsea. Imagine Chelsea being haunted by spooky Alexa. Chelsea would totally sell that. And
Chelsea being haunted by the United States Championship.
Yeah, I think that would be incredible. So
that'd be kind of sad.
We'll see what happens. Speaking of dark and spooky, we had the Chicago return of Joliet's own Sky Blue returned last night at AEW Dynamite. Sky Blue came back out. It was great to see her. And if you haven't had a chance already, there's a great interview. You just got to go find Sky Blue on her socials, Instagram or Twitter or whatever. But she and Kyle Fletcher did a radio interview. Actually, it was on video, but it was like radio, video pockets, whatever. And they talked about her injury and how she was actually going to just give up because the injury was really, really bad. And it was one of those freak injuries too. It's so funny how some of the worst injuries happen at like not these dangerous moves, but like these freak moments. Like she was catching a wrestler that was off the ropes, off the apron, and she just rolled funny on her leg and it broke her fibula and tibula, and all the ibulas got broken. And so she's got like a metal rod and her whole ankle is all scarred up, but she was going to give up. But Kyle Fletcher was really a solid dude and was there for her and refused to let her give up. And now she's back. And this wasn't the best women's match on TV this week, but it was a great showcase of a lot of the women in the women's division AEW. And Sky Blue, it was good to see Sky Blue back in the ring. And I thought this was good for her. But this was a four-way. It was Toni Storm was, Toni Storm has gone nuts. She's like, I'm going to have all these contender matches, and so I can get an opponent for Double or Nothing. And she had this match, and it was Sky Blue, Toni Storm, of course, and then it was AZM, aka Azumi, and Mina Shirakawa. And Mina Shirakawa, she came out. Everybody wants Mina. We want Mina. And Mina came out. And this was interesting, too. I was going to include this as a separate slide, but there was a very interesting moment. Hold on. Pepe Poteet is in the house. That means we must hydrate.
I got no water on me.
You better get some water. Hydrate. Yes, thank you, Pepe. Always hydrate. It was an interesting moment on AEW Dynamite last night. If you didn't catch it, when I want Mina and Jenna want right. So there you go. We all want something. We all want something here. So Mina comes out to this new theme called Mina Now. And it sounds like AI trying to combine Cardi B with like some kind of trying to combine Cardi B with who's the redheaded girl that's on TikTok?
Sexy Red?
No. She's on TikTok and she's famous.
Oh, dog, I don't know. I don't know. I thought of Sexy Red.
Anyways, it was not banging. It was yes, Tall Can knows exactly what I'm talking about. So she comes out to this terrible new song, and
Damn.
I know Ruckus had nothing to do with this. Ruckus would not release this song. It comes out and it's like boom, 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 and you like and Tony Storm tried so hard to, like they cut to Tony Storm and she's kind of like this trying to like bop to it. It just was terrible. So Mina wins. Mina gets a small package roll up and gets a 1-2-3 on Tony Storm and is now going to face Tony Storm at Double or Nothing for the title, which is great, with Mina back. But what was interesting, when Mina got the win, Tony Khan played her old music. Played her original theme, didn't play this new.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's the thing too is Mina's used to that whole the Club Venus dance that she and Mariah and I think Zaya Brookside used to do too, but they would do this whole dance, and she tried to do the dance, and it was atrocious.
Oh no!
And what were they doing to our poor Mina? And she was trying to sell it, and you could just hear everybody in the stands going like, "What? What is this?" Because that's the thing too and this is something that really frustrates me with AEW, WWE. They do this all the time when they change somebody's music, that an iconic music piece. I remember when when because of some they want to change some stuff up. Now I do like it when it makes sense if somebody's doing a heel turn or they're changing their attitude. But like Thunder Rosa, her new theme is a bop, but you can't replace that Stone Cold level pop when you hear that Thunder Rosa. When you hear that song, and I love that she's kind of gone back to that. I missed the Hangman Adam Page theme song. So you have these iconic theme songs that when you hear the music, you know who's coming. And when you change it, especially when you make this monstrosity, this eye bleach kind of thing that came out, Mina bless her heart, she was trying to really put it over. But yeah, as Tolkien said, they make or break somebody. A good theme song can really get the crowd pumped up. A bad theme song, a terrible theme song,
you know what? There is one really terrible theme song, and it's what's the name of it? "Suck My Kiss" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. There's a certain person with that song.
Is that Armani Sage's theme song?
Yeah, it's bad. Also, hey, I'm Brookside.
Hey,
that's my
I'm an ass man. Yeah, that Billy Gunn's. Well, what was interesting about Billy Gunn when he and Chuck Palumbo were where they were that tag team. They were the originals to have what eventually became Santina Morella's theme song. But in fact, speaking of theme songs, we will be. No, I don't think she's insulting Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think it's an insult to the person that's abusing that song.
Yes, I absolutely. I love the song, but when I hear it, I just, I literally, I audibly exhale in absolute and utter disgust because I know who's walking out of the curtain next.
Well, we do need to talk about it. It's been in the works. It's been delayed for several reasons, and we're going to have to wait till after the draft. But it's still coming. We are still going to have the finals of Theme Song Turmoil. It is coming.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, right. But I have the official packed away, but I have the official golden headphones for the winner. So we got to brush up on those theme songs. But
I
Really
think that'll be
quickly,
good.
I gotta jump to what happened afterwards. Of course, Mina, and you know that Mina and Tony Storm have some history. Will Mariah May return at Double or Nothing? I think that's highly likely because of that trio. I think we're going to see Mariah May return. It's going to be really awesome. Of course, AZM took Mercedes Monet's New Japan title from her at recently. So she attacked Azumi, but then Jamie Hayter comes out and attacks Mercedes. So if you can look at the pictures, you had this like chain of events of chokeholds. It's like I guess it's not the bank, it's the money maker, not the bank statement or whatever. And then Jamie Hayter comes out with the Haterade, and it just was really awesome. But anyways, yes. Thank you, Tolkien. I appreciate it. Very appreciate it. Also, once again, Monday night, 10 p.m. or essentially Eastern, or right after Raw, is we're going to have the official We Love Wrestling draft, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to have a representative from all of the different podcasts out there honoring Trey D, huge supporter of women's wrestling and wrestling in general. As he says, if I love wrestling, you love wrestling, we love wrestling. We want to continue his memory. Nicole is going to be her podcast is going to be part of it, and I've had to put it away. But of course, the official We Love Wrestling title will be up for grabs. Let me just make sure we see. This is the official title. Be up for grabs, and it's the winning. It's going to run through the summer, and the winning podcast will be able to display it as the We Love Wrestling champion for 2025. Just to kind of show you how it's going to look. So far, we got Tolkien listening. We want them on the team, of course. Down for the count. Meet us in the ring. Countdown City. And we've got Lip Gloss and Ladders, and we've got 2 surprise entrants are going to be announced tomorrow on Monday night, so it's going to be really awesome. And Dora is in the house. She's been fighting with her family, fighting with her camera. That's the sequel to Fighting with Your Family.
That's wild.
I didn't mean, okay, I just thought that, I guess maybe Soraya's sequel could be Fighting with the Camera, but that goes a different way. We won't talk about that. It's all right, D, you're in the house. It's cool. But we're excited. Tolkien, we hope that you're in the house with us. And this is, you guys, maybe Tolkien listening will be the We Love Wrestling champions. We would love to see that. And
it's going to be Mission Pro Spotlight.
Oh, it's going to be, see, that's the thing. Dora and Angel, they've already been doing their homework. They're already going on cagematch.com and looking at who's getting the most wins, who's going to be able to earn the most points for them. So we will see. We do need to talk about that. So that's going to be coming up. Really awesome news, though. 2 things for our girl Willow, Mission Pro alumni Willow Nightingale, the perpetually happy ass kicker herself. 2 things. 1, it was announced on Dynamite last night that Willow Nightingale has re-signed with AEW for a multi-year contract. She's not going anywhere. She's going to stay with AEW. And for the first time ever, last night at the end, they announced they're going to have Anarchy in the Arena. And if you're not familiar with Anarchy in the Arena, listen to me. Anarchy in the Arena, that's this like where they just wrestle all over the entire arena. That was the one where Eddie Kingston got a can of gasoline, was gonna burn everybody, Jericho or somebody, and there was all kinds of stuff going on. Anarchy in the Arena, Swerve, Powerhouse Hobbs, Samoa Joe, versus John Moxley's crew, the Young Bucks, Okada. Kenny Omega is going to be on Team Swerve. And Willow is going to be also on Team Swerve. And Marina Shafir is going to be on Team Moxley. So this is the first time 2 women have been a part of Anarchy in the Arena, and not as refs, as actual participants. So we're going to see some serious ass kicking between, and That's just the women are going to be participants. We already want to see Willow beat up Claudio. We want to see Willow beat up Moxley. I mean, and we want to see Willow kill Wheeler Yuta. So I think we're going to see a lot of intergender battles that are going to be tremendous. So what a great night! What a great time for Willow. She's tremendous. We need to get some gold back on her, and hopefully we'll see her back in Mission Pro at some point as well. But are you a big Willow fan, Angel?
Oh yeah, I love Willow. Like she's such a freaking positive energy. I like aspire to be Willow so much. Obviously that doesn't really work out half the time. But no, I really love Willow and I'm really happy for her.
Well, we congratulations, Willow, on renewing your contract. Get that bag and go kick some ass in Anarchy in the Arena. But speaking of success stories, even though she may not have gotten through to the WWID, I think that's everything happens in its own time. I think the universe is aligning for something even more awesome. But Angel Marie, you know what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for our. It's not Tiffy time.
Wrong one. Sorry, my watch is set wrong.
I think it's time for our report. I think it's time for. All right, the Izzy report. Here we go. Izzy report. First of all, before we get to this Blood Money match that's coming up, Izzy had her first debut at Shimmer and got the W at Shimmer. And again, debuting some new gear. I love the kind of the 80s, the pink and blue gear that she's got.
That's so cutesy.
We're continuing to love Izzy's career as she continues on. And like to me, I feel like she's one of us because she started out, the little girl fan, that Mercedes Moné, then Sasha Banks harassed. Now, and then she became, the hot tag with Izzy. And now here she is living the dream. I can't wait for that moment when she gets hit in the back of the head with a kendo stick flag by Angel Marie when she debuts and feuds with her at some point. But anyways, that's how I would book it. No, you guys are BFFs. What am I talking about? You guys are BFFs.
Yeah. Why are you trying to make me look bad? Like I'm a bad friend. I wouldn't do that to Izzy. Oh my gosh. The way that you even said that?
Well, you're right. I'm thinking like a WWE booker because who just booked Becky Lynch to turn on Lyra Valkyria. So I apologize. However, yes, tough. Everybody's having a hard time with this Blood Money match. Callie and Tita versus Izzy Moreno at Blood Money, May 24th. Angel's a mean person.
Shut up! What? Oh my gosh, girl! I'm being nice to you, man. I'm getting something. There's something in the works for you, so can't call me mean person after that.
Genesis I choose both. It's gonna be tough. I don't know.
Sure. I'm not choosing.
Who do you got, Pepe? Who do you got? Because this is a battle of two of our favorites here. Two friends of the show. We've got Izzy Moreno and Callie and Tita.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all need to be tuning into this if you can't go there live already in Corpus Christi. I don't know. Izzy's on a hot streak right now, but hot streak, the queen of hot streaks, of course, Callie and Tita. I know who I will put you this way. I know who Tommy's going to be rooting for.
Yeah, that's a given.
Minds. In fact, if Tommy goes to Corpus Christi, and he sits front row, I think that's going to be a handicap for Callie. Just his laugh alone. Every time she gets, I can just hear Tommy making cracks at Callie. But what if we stun the world?
Uh-oh.
What if, this is my crazy booking by Midrunner booking. What if Tommy turns on Izzy and aligns with Callie and Tita and costs Izzy the match? Nobody would see that coming. Nobody would see Tommy turning on Izzy and helping Callie win. What is that possible? Big Mike, what do you think? You think that could happen? You think what could possibly what could possibly happen? Has Callie, as she became the new undisputed champion, has she earned they can still hear him if he's
That's true.
That is true. That is true. Anyways, we're curious. Let us know in the chat who you got. Looks like D is neutral. It looks like everybody's kind of having to stay neutral because it's two of our faves.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I want to say one or the other, but then, like, I can't do that. Like, I was literally like, I can't do this. Like, seriously, I can't choose. One is mi hermana, and the other one is my sister, bro. Literally, like, the same title, different languages. I can't do that. You know what I mean? And I really, I want to go to Corpus to go support, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. And I'm like, if I do go to Corpus, I'm gonna die. Because I'm not going to be able to handle this match.
By the way, Big Mike says the rapture would happen first before Tommy would support Callie. So, yeah,
Sure.
There you go. You got Tommy could be a factor, but this is our Izzy report, but it's bleeding into our other report. But by the way, those are not dancing strawberries. Those are dancing peppers. But for some reason, they look like dancing strawberries. Anyways, Angel Marie, tell us about the other part of the Callie report, and look at the familiar faces we see on these cards here.
Yeah. So this Saturday, actually, we got Megla Don Juan at the Hybrid School of Wrestling, and it's actually a tribute show to Don Juan, obviously with the name, and that is because he is currently battling stomach cancer, and so all the proceeds, I believe, for the tickets are going to go back to Don Juan to help him out with medical bills, other bills, and just everything in general. We love Don Juan. Stay strong, brother. And so it's gonna be a crazy. What is this? 369, 9-person triple threat tag team? Like
the front door.
Yeah, it's gonna be so chaotic. I'm not even I already have to think. I already have to be bombarded by my friends going against each other. Hybrid now more so than ever because 3 of them at once are going against each other, and it's gonna be Dead Man's Hand, Jay Young, Jesse James, and Key Vibes versus Texas Kingdom, Rob Love, Stud Stash, and Ridley Thorne, the Sensational Savage, and then the Texas Treats, Diego Rene, David Teen, and Calientita, yours truly. And so it's gonna be crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. Now,
who won the War Games style match? Like with Texas Streets or Texas Kingdom?
I believe that was the Kingdom, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong.
If you're 50-50 booking, do you think the Texas Treats might get the win this time with Dead Man's Hand as a factor in this whole thing?
Maybe, but also because the fact that the show is literally for Don Juan, who is a Texas Treat, I feel like the Texas Treats might find a way to, yeah, it is Texas Kingdom. Okay. The Texas Treats might find a way to, cheat per usual. And
yep. Of course, you never underestimate Callie. Like we said, this is the Callie report. But Key Vibes, don't underestimate Key Vibes as well. And,
yeah, or Ridley either.
Or Ridley, yes. We ride with Ridley. But and Stud Stash, can there's so many factors in this. This is going to be just a melee. It's going to be now. I don't even know if it's tornado rules or is it tag rules.
I don't know
the
either.
rules.
It doesn't even say.
I don't even think I think the rules are out the window. I think this is just going to be
Probably.
a hybrid
Brawl.
slaughter. Megalodon, like Megalodon. I love the graphic at the bottom to the head.
Right, it's so goofy. Like literally, whenever they dropped like the when they dropped the original graphics for like the show, I was like, oh my god.
Mike is back at it again. And again, how come I read this as Mike, but then I hear Tommy laughing after I finish reading this? How come I hear Tommy's laughter after?
Yeah, I mean, because that would usually be Tommy anyway, so. I can't with you impersonating.
Oh my goodness. It's going to be great. Now, but Clash of Diamonds, the Queen of Diamonds here, this looks sick because there are six ladies here that we're all very familiar with. Once again, we got to choose. We got Ridley Thorne and Callie and Tita, but we've got also Miss Bougie herself, Rashay Chanel, and Mackenzie Morgan, who we've had on the show. If you remember, she was kicking ass with the Memphis wrestling that was adrenaline wrestling with Adrenaline Pro. And we've had her on as well. Of course, Viperish, we're very familiar with. Robin Clark. This is just going to be another just insane match here. Now, I can't see in the card. Is it just a 6-way or is it a 3-on-3? It's got to be a 6-way because I don't see a world where Callie and Ridley would be teaming together.
Yeah, but then again, when you think about it, there's this whole joke that like some of us have, like I know Mike is in on it, and like to where we say that like basically once you pass a Buc-ee's or a checkpoint in Texas, then like the wrestling universe changes. So like I know like down like more south, I think like a lot of hybrid talent are heels when they're normally faces, and then sometimes like you'll see Callie and Ridley getting teamed up together somewhere else, and it's just I was about to ask you that. What does the Texas Wrestling Multiverse do in another state? Like, what's gonna happen? Because I mean, you're literally changing states. Yeah. You're going over borders. So would that change something too? Like, what if there's like another Buc-ee's in that state or something?
I've heard this, and I think we can actually confirm this. Nair Robles, who was on our show several times, friend of the show, she has talked about how she has past Buc-ee's. She has her tag team with JC Storm, the Major League Blondes, and they were feuding in Philadelphia. I think it was in Philadelphia. She was feuding with Riley Crow, but then she passes a Buc-ee's and they're tag teaming together. So it's like, so that, I think it does. It alters the multiverse. There must be wrestling wormholes. Only Doctor Strange knows for sure. But it does. If you pass a Buc-ee's, we need to we need to test that out and see what happens. Do some research. Absolutely.
Crazy.
But I understand that we also have some really cool news. I don't know can we talk about this right now, or do you want to hold off?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think I might make them wait.
All right, we'll just drop a hint. We'll just drop a hint because, as you know, Mission Pro Spotlight. We are continuing to keep the dream alive. The mission of Mission Pro to elevate women's wrestling, keep positive wrestling news out there and support wrestling. And specifically in, Southeast Texas, because Mission Pro, San Antonio, hello, that's a huge part of the core familia for Mission Pro Wrestling, even though some of us live in Virginia Beach and, whatever. Yeah. However, we are, the journalism continues, and we continue to grow, and we continue to expand. So one of the things that you can expect to see as we go through the summer is more on the scene journalism. We have our Pepe Poteet on the spot journalist who will be hopefully will continue to give us some more reports as he goes out there. But we also have other journalists that are in training. We're going to continue to get some great interviews. We're upgrading our equipment. And those of you that got to see, of course, when Angel Marie interviewed Callie and Tita for our Rising Star of the Year for 2024, I think a lot of people really enjoyed that. So the fans have spoken. You have spoken. We've received your messages. You want to see more of that kind of content. So that's coming very soon as we continue to evolve, and as well as things above us kind of start to align. We may be seeing some shows in around the San Antonio area, or perhaps in another location to start with Mission Pro soon. So continue to keep Mission Pro in your prayers and keep talking it up. Keep talking. We've heard all the wrestling talent and fans continue to ask when is Mission Pro coming back, and I can't give you a date. I can't give you even approximate date, but just true believers, stay the course, keep the prayers, eat your vitamins, do the training, whatever. But it's coming. But we do want to give a special shout out. Angel, do you want to take this? You want to give a special shout out to United 210? Just kind of update us on what's going on with that, and just kind of what people can do to help.
Yeah, so United 210, if you're in or around the San Antonio area, you already know what's been going on, or even if you're outside, because it has reached a lot of different people that are not just like in and around San Antonio too. So United 210, as I reported before, they got shut down by the city, and there was a note posted on the gate. Oh my goodness. I don't know how I stand with this anymore because of everything that's going on. So I'm putting a hold on my campaign until further notice.
But you're doing good work. You're keeping the name out there. You're championing their cause. You're building a great resume for that.
I'm trying to. I'm really trying to. I appreciate that. But yeah, so as we know, United got shut down. There was a note posted on the gate that was saying that they weren't properly zoned for wrestling, and it turns out a lot of people speculated that maybe it was because of the Case That Explains interview that they had, and the complaints were made before the Case That Explains even dropped. And it's really unfortunate. It's really strange, and there's a lot of costs that have to go into, the rezoning, and then having to do something with the lot that's right next to them, because it's an empty lot, but apparently it used to be a road. So there's going to be a lot of just money that's going to have to go towards that to be able to keep United 210 in the yard. So tomorrow, actually Friday, there's going to be a show called Handsome Javi Presents, and it's literally Handsome Javi. He's like hosting this wrestling show, and it's kind of for United 210. There is people from United that'll be wrestling there. And it's going to be held at the Hybrid School of Wrestling. And so all the ticket proceeds from that are going to go towards United 210 and helping them pay all the bills and all of those bills that they are going to be having and stuff until United gets to go back to the yard, go out for some good wrestling. And it is for a really good cause. And you should, if you're in the San Antonio area, please try to go to those shows, both shows, tomorrow on Friday for United and on Saturday for Don Juan, because they are good causes. It's both going towards good causes, and it's really beautiful to know that the community is going to get together for this kind of stuff.
I love it, and this is a great way to bookmark this episode, because we started out talking about, we touched on the stuff going with All Caribbean, but how that actually enhances the need for promotions like Mission Pro, like United 210, that are as much a part of the community. And again, keeping United 210 in the yard should be the mission. and as well as the philanthropy, the great causes that you can continue to rally behind. Make sure you check out and get some United 210 merch. They got their old school logo, I think, on some shirts, as well as the new United 210 logo. I don't know. I kind of like them both, but the United 210 new one looks kind of fire. But I would love to see them get the yard back, and I'd love to see perhaps a combined United 210 Mission Pro combined card at some point. Because if you get La Mira fired up about United keeping a local Texas promotion fired up, I think that we could get La Mira involved with, but I don't know. I don't speak for her. She's really busy with a lot of things. But if you can definitely support United 210, it'd be awesome. A lot of cool stuff going on like that. But it's great when you have a fun promotion like that in a community. And I've seen the news programs, the clips, this is my only opinion. These are not the opinions of Mission Pro Spotlight or of Angel Marie of United 210. But that city lady, she's lying. Her pants are on fire. That lady, if you just watch, I'm watching her, and you know how you just watch and you just look at somebody like, oh, come on. I mean, Mike knows this too. Anybody that's a teacher, especially if you've taught like elementary kids, when they're like, you'll sit there and they're like, when they're lying. This lady, she's full of it. I think somebody got a little when they found out that all this
the
fun
city
stuff
got a little.
I think the city got a little I don't know what's going on. So yeah, this is just my opinion. I think that there's some shenanigans, but here's what's cool. Just like they said, just like everybody said at United 210, this is an opportunity to get it done right, so that you can lock in the yard forever. And if we could raise enough money, this doesn't have to just stop at the legal fees and the rights and stuff. If we can get enough people fired up, maybe get some former talent that are now big time to help us out, we could actually spend the money to really turn that whole thing into a facility, or really just get the yard to a point where it's set up for that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, this is just me off the top of my head, but
yeah.
The more money we raise, the better it's going to look and continue to evolve. And oh my goodness, it's going to be fantastic. But yes, keep 210 in the yard. But yeah, I agree, Pepe. I think Miss Lady, those pants were in fuego. Those pants were in fuego. Well, Angel Marie, any final thoughts? Any final pre-calculus you got to do or anything?
Oh my God. Why does it always come back to pre-cal?
Well, are you excited? What are you most excited about in wrestling right now? What's really aside? I know we're heartbroken over Tatum, but what are you most excited about with wrestling right now?
Most excited? I'm gonna say not even mainstream wrestling. I would probably say just like the independents here in Texas, and just like the amount of shows that I have lined up for the next couple months is insane, and I think it's so much fun. Hopefully, probably, yes, I will be seeing Nexa Newell, formerly Tegan Knox, in July at San Antonio Showdown. And so, I mean, I'm really excited about that. And then also just in general, in wrestling, I'm just excited to get to see my friends. Because these two shows this weekend, like, everyone's my friend there, and I love seeing my friends so much. And I mean, literally, like, it's crazy. It's so crazy to say that I have, like, all of these amazing and great friends, like, in this, like, local scene, too. It's, like, surreal for me to think about sometimes. But yeah, and so I'll be at Unite. I'll be at the Handsome Hobby Presents, and I'll be at Megalodon 1. So if you see me, say hey. You know what I mean? And yeah,
Don't be shy. Come up to Angel. Don't be shy. Even if now she might put a microphone in front of you. So don't be don't be surprised. But hey, your family. You come up to Angel, your family, come out and say hi. It's gonna be awesome, and I'm super excited. Yeah, I guess Jenna gets to see Gypsy Mac on the 31st. That's awesome. I think that's fantastic. Yeah. If you come up, Big Mike says if you see Angel at the shows, you got to ask her about math. Give her a pre-calculus problem.
I'll walk away.
Yeah. if okay, here's a Big Mike could be like, all right, so if Alexa Bliss stood on Zelina Vega's shoulders and then Zelina Vega stood on Angel's shoulders, what's the height difference between them and the Big Show?
How tall is the Big Show?
Isn't he 7 foot? I think close to that.
7 foot, approximately 8 feet.
There we go. Well, on behalf of Angel Marie, I am Midrunner. It has been awesome chatting with everybody tonight. Go support your local wrestling. Go support women's wrestling. And don't forget, Monday night after Raw, 10-ish Eastern, 9-ish Central, is going to be the live draft. You got to see who's going to get Masha Slamovich, who's going to get Jordan Grace, who are going to draft these wild cards, and you never know. Sometimes it's those indie wrestlers that'll earn more money. Who's going to draft Callie and Tita? Will Tommy and Mike draft Callie and Tita? We'll have to see. But on behalf of Angel Marie, I am Midrunner. It's been awesome. We love you, fam, and we will see you next.
Swagger down the street.